Today we'll be talking about building your real estate team and understanding the market. Let's get to it. So welcome to the channel if you're new. Welcome back if you've been subscribed or have already supported. I appreciate you. Now today, as I said in the intro, we'll be talking about building a successful real estate team and also understanding the market and how important both of these things are. Now, when it comes to your team, you want to make sure you have the right people around you. You want to make sure these people are knowledgeable, they're experienced, but not just experience, but experience with investors in general. So we'll get right into it. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, critique, whatever you have to do in the comments below, whatever. Here we go. Like with other things people are unfamiliar with, they tend to neglect the smaller, more nuanced aspects of the process, and they want to just rush right into whatever they're looking to succeed in. And one of the aspects that get neglected along the process of purchasing a property is your team. You have to have the right team. And I want you to remember that real estate is not just about buying a property. It's about being around the right people. If you don't have the right people, this is how you get into spending more money than you need to, because you're dealing with inexperienced, unintelligent people. So one of the people we have to make sure, well, first of all, let's get that understood. Have the right people around you. A lot of these people, the people that you want around you, consist of an agent, a lender, a contractor, a property manager if you don't plan to manage the property yourself, and a handyman. Now there's a few others that can be added to that list, but those are the main core people you want to be in touch with as you're going throughout the buying process. So let's get that understood. Now, when it comes to your agent, that's the first person you want to be looking for, is your agent. How I personally found my agent was through the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Investing Forum, where through that platform I was able to type, I think I typed into a forum, it was like a little comment section or whatever, and you posted, and the people that see it are agents, investors from all around the country. So whenever I typed in what I was looking to do and what city I was in, a person, I mean, many people saw my post, but the right person saw it, we got in contact, and he's still my agent to this day. Now, I spoke on having an agent, a property manager. I'm fortunate enough to have all in one, right? My connections that I have for my handyman work, for my contractor work, I use my agent and his connections through that. So like the last episode where I talked about leverage, that's one thing I'm leveraging, right? Through the connection I have with my agent, I can leverage those relationships that he already has for myself. The point is, finding these people is extremely important, and we have to, when you get to finding your agent especially, you have to ask the right questions. With anything, you have to ask the right question when you're looking to gain insight on how to succeed in a certain field. So a few questions you have to ask your agent. Number one, have you worked with investors before? You have to know this. And I speak on that from personal experience, because before I had the agent that I have today, I formerly had an agent in which I could tell she was inexperienced with what I was looking to do. That doesn't make her a bad agent, it just makes her a bad fit for me. And that's what it's about. We're talking about the right fit for us so that we don't get ourselves in bad positions. If I have an agent that's not investor friendly, what happens is there are certain things that she's not going to be knowledgeable about that I need her to be knowledgeable about, me being that neophyte that I am, inexperienced as I was. I need her to be as knowledgeable as possible because I'm doing something that is pretty unfamiliar. It's kind of different. I'm not just looking to buy a home to live in. I'm looking to buy an asset, right? So we have to understand finding the right people, asking the right questions so that we put ourselves in the right position to succeed. I talked about that in my first video, being in the right position, people, places, positions, right? So have that in the back of your mind that you may come across an agent that's not investor friendly. And if they're not investor friendly, they're not for you. Because we're looking to invest, and we're looking to invest in multifamily properties specifically. Now, the next question, how familiar are you with multifamily properties in this area? Right? Because a good agent is not just somebody that's going to find you deals. He or she is going to find you opportunities. So we can't just get caught up in, oh, this house and this house. Like, we're here for a specific reason. So that specificity matters. It matters. We need to know about the multifamily properties in the area in which we're looking to buy in. And the agent should be pretty well versed. I mean, real estate is what they do for a living after all. So you find your investor friendly agent, you ask them, how experienced are you with investors? They answer the question. Then you ask them, how much do you know about multifamily properties in said area? So with that, we're being direct. We're being straightforward. We're looking for multifamily properties. Right now, after you get that answer from them, now you ask them, what multifamily properties have rental potential? That's what it's about, rental potential, because that rental potential monthly could either lessen your expenses at the very least, or put you in a position to cash flow each month. Now, of course, best case scenario, we want to cash flow each month, but we'll take the wins however we can get them. So if it comes down to lessening our expenses per month, or completely wiping out our mortgage, it wipes out, or it balances out our mortgage, that's a win. Although you're not cash flowing, it's still a win. So we have to take the W's as we can get them in this process, because these W's now, I mean, they just stack up. The W's now stack up. So let's continue to stack these W's by finding the right people, asking the right questions. Simple as that. Now, what an agent does, like with any great teacher, mentor, guide, or whatever, is they help you avoid the obstacles that are along that road. So when we find a great agent, when we find somebody who's knowledgeable, when we find somebody who's experienced, who's investor friendly, as I spoke on, let's listen to what they have to say. Let's follow their footsteps. Follow their footsteps. The footsteps, whether they took them or they have directed other people before you. Let's follow those steps. The next person on your team is a property manager. Now, as I said before, my property manager and my agent, same person. But if I did not have that as a luxury, I would still use the same resource to find a property manager in my city. Now, one thing you're always going to hear me quote is the bigger pockets form because of how easy it is. It's very simple to get on there and let people know where you're at, what you plan to do, what's your goals, all that, and have these people see it and respond in a manner in which they can help. Now, property manager is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't get too deep into it. Property manager is somebody who manages the property after you buy it, collects the rents, distributes it out to you every month. Now, one thing about a property manager, if you're not doing it yourself, is you will have to pay that property manager whatever his or her rate is. So whether that's affordable, if that's in your budget or not, is between you and that person. And the rate should be something reasonable. It shouldn't be anything exorbitant. It shouldn't be anything over the top. Me personally, it's 10% of the rent each month, which is no issue at all. So yes, that's what a property manager is, and those are the things to expect from a property manager. Now, the question that you would ask the agent is the same thing you would ask the property manager. How experienced are you? Those are the two questions you will have for your property manager that are very similar to the agent questions. Now, if you're somebody who plans to be your own property manager and take on that responsibility yourself, then this is a person you don't even have to worry about. But you should make sure that you're as knowledgeable as a experienced property manager would be by doing your own research, understanding the area, understanding the comparables, understanding the zip code in which that property is in. Make sure you are well versed in those areas. Now, the next person to speak on is the lender. You have to partner with the lender, right? A question we're asking the lender is similar to the question we're asking the property manager, if you're gonna get one, and also the agent, which you need. Which that question is, how experienced are you with investors? Simple as that. We don't have to spend too much time on that anymore. Now, your lender should be creative, because when it comes to investing in multifamily properties, especially, it can get complicated for underwriting. It can get complicated for a lot of people involved. If you have a lender that is inexperienced with investors and hasn't explored different solutions to different problems in regards to the loan, it can be kind of hard for you and your agent to work with that lender. So you have to make sure that you're seeing that this person knows how to navigate a lot of the weird, nuanced rules of multifamily properties. If you remember, in my first volume, I spoke on understanding your financial situation. The better your situation, the more buying power you have. Now, this is what leads you to getting pre-approved. Now, other questions you should have for your lender as you're looking to get pre-approved. What do you qualify for today? What's holding you back? If you don't qualify, what's holding you back from qualifying? What loan products are you eligible for right now? And what financial adjustment, this is a question for you, what financial adjustments can you make to increase your buying power? Now, we talked about credit in my first volume, and this is where it's coming up. This is where the importance of keeping good credit comes up and is completely necessary. And this is what they're looking at this point. When you're looking to get pre-approved, they're looking at your documents, your credit, your income, all of the above. And they're using your W-2s and your pay stubs and all of that to verify, do you have enough in your account? Are you credible enough to pay this back? And what other debts do you have? We already discussed that, so I'm not going to get too far into that. But that is what having that lender on your team can do. Whenever they understand your financial situation like you do, now they understand how they can get creative to make sure you not only approve, but whenever it's time to get into looking for these properties and what loan product will be better for you. Now, when I talk about loan products, I'm just talking about the different types of loans you can apply for. Now, we already spoke on FHA and conventional, so I'm not going to spend too much time with that. But just to run it down, FHA is an owner-occupied loan, So if you're looking to live in the property and rent out the other units, like I have, you only put 3.5% down and only need a 580 credit score in order to qualify for that. Now, you also have conventional, where if you're looking to live in the property, it's 5% down. And if you're looking for an investment property, that's 20% down. Now, the next loan product that you can qualify for is a DSCR loan. So a DSCR loan is a debt service coverage ratio loan for investment properties. All the lender wants to see when it comes to this loan is that the property produces enough income to cover its own debt, right? The mortgage and all the other related payments. So for example, if I purchase a property for $220,000, I put 20% down, and let's say my mortgage comes out to, let's just say $1,500 a month, and it's a triplex. So let's say for this triplex, I rent out each unit for $800 a month. That's $2,400 a month that I'm getting in rent. And if you subtract the mortgage payment of $1,500 from that, that's $900 left. Therefore, meaning I qualify well above the DSCR loans qualifications of the property producing enough income to cover the debt. So that's all that means. So the DSCR loan focuses less on your personal income like the other loans do, and more on the property's ability to pay for itself. Exactly. So that's basically the rundown of a DSCR loan, and that's another option whenever you're looking at investment property loans, and your lender should be able to explain these things to you. So when you find a great lender, all this knowledge, all this information will be relayed to you. So that's one thing to count on when you have great people around you, is through experience, they can show you the ropes and give you exactly what you need to position yourself to win. So up until this point, we have our agent, our property manager, and our lender. Now, the next few will be pretty simple. We'll run through them really quick. You want a title company rep, I should say. And this is the person that's going to help you close the deal. Right now, remember, all of this is being done before, we're getting these people involved before we're getting into the process of buying the property. But to have these people on board beforehand is an amazing idea to just keep things easier. Having this title company representative just helps you close the deal a lot faster. So remember, the objective, I have to always reiterate this, the objective of investing and doing things like this is so that we can scale fast. So the quicker you get things done, the quicker you can get to the next step in scaling. So having a title company rep that is experienced, they don't even have to be too experienced with investors like the other ones have to be. Just having that experience helps you get these deals done in a timely fashion. There's no extra, there's no playing around. It's just business. The next very necessary person to have on the team is an insurance agent. Insurance is huge. Insurance is a must. Like you can't go without insurance. And you're going to be dealing with a lot of insurance policies if you're scaling, if your portfolio is big, whatever. And a lot of it can get very tedious and aggravating, to be honest with you. But it's good having that person there because you never know when you'll need that policy. So make sure whenever you're looking for these insurance agents and these policies, make sure you're shopping around and you're looking for the best terms, the best rates, I should say, and also the best service. Don't be cheap when it comes to insurance. You can't afford to be cheap. You never know what may happen. Whether I live in Florida, so whether you're talking about weather, right? You never know when things may get so chaotic or so catastrophic that being cheap on that insurance comes back to bite you. So be frugal with the insurance. We never want to overpay for anything really, but we want to be safe, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Now you go into a contractor. Now just think about a contractor like this. A contractor is someone who turns your inspection report into a game plan. they really have the ability to turn your property into something that tenants want to live in. But similar to the insurance agent, don't get cheap. You know, a good contractor is extremely valuable, and you know, you just have to make sure that they are licensed, bonded, insured to protect you. Don't just look for who has the cheapest price, because you're gonna get terrible service. You're gonna get terrible service, and if that's something you want to deal with, then I mean, power to you. But that's not the smart way to go about anything. Just being overly cheap. Matter of fact, a good contractor can help you from overpaying. Say you have a deal that's $150,000 that you're looking at, and you're saying, this is well within my budget. It's great numbers. Everything lines up. Okay. Now you have a contractor come in and, I don't want to say inspect, but they give repair estimates before you even buy a property. So say there's certain repairs that need to be done. You think it's $150,000 that you're going to close the deal on. Like, that's going to be the purchase price, $150,000. A contractor can come to you and tell you, hey, there's a lot wrong with this property that you really don't see. That's going to cost around $40,000. See, now without him there, you wouldn't have even known that it would cost as much to repair whatever needs to be repaired. But since he's doing his job, and he's great at doing his job, now what looked like a good deal, it might turn into something that's overly expensive because of the repairs. You might have to walk away or reconsider because of the information that he just relayed to you. So that's one thing to consider when you're getting a contractor, and not just a contractor, but a great contractor. Also, you have a worthy contractor, they can add value to the property because of their renovations or their repairs. These things can add to higher rents, which is more cash flow potentially for you, and also higher appraisals. So there's really no losing situation when having great people around you, but especially a great contractor. And last but not least, a handyman. There's always something that breaks, little things, maybe a faucet that is malfunctioning, maybe there's a little clog somewhere. Well, whatever the case may be, inside or outside the property, a handyman is extremely important. Just to step in, come and do little things and make sure that everything is running correctly. Now, they can't do every single thing, but the little things that may cause a concern for the tenants, they can step in really quick, timely fashion for a decent amount of money and handle the job. So yes, up until this point on our real estate team, we have our agent, we have our property manager, we have our lender, we have our insurance agent, we have our title company representative, we have our contractor, and our handyman. All these people are necessary for your successful real estate team. No one is more important than the other one. Everything comes together. Now, we have to understand what makes a successful real estate team really quick. Now, what makes a great real estate team, like what makes any team great, is how consistent they are producing, each person, including yourself. When it's time for you to provide documents, when it's time for you to, eventually provide the money that needs to be transferred, all of this plays into how great a team can be. How timely are the people? How well do they communicate? How well do they get along with other people? Do they produce whenever they promise they're going to produce? Do they do things quickly? Are they slow? Are they experts at what they do? These are all the questions to be asked when considering a team great. So always keep that at the front of your mind. Production. This is all business. It's not about friendships. Of course, it'll be great if these people could be friends as well, but this is business, so you want production. And at the moment that people start to consistently not produce, it may be time to acknowledge that this person is not right for you. So remember that. Continue to repeat it, because people talk and talk and talk, but if they're not producing, then it shouldn't be too much more leeway that they're given. So yes, what makes a great team is the ability to consistently produce from everybody. Everybody has to do their part in order to make everybody else's job easier. So with that being said, that is the conclusion for part 1 of this second volume of this Level Up series. Now, one thing I want to make sure you understand, one thing I want you to get from this video: no one can do this by themselves. So having the right people around you is incredibly vital to being successful in this real estate thing. And look, we're looking to do this together. Though I have my 2 properties already, 2 multifamily properties, we're all looking to build from each other. So let's just find the right people to be around, find the right people to ask questions, ask the right questions, and we can put ourselves in a position to win. Simple as that. And when you're looking for the right people, don't be cheap. You want people who finish on time, they'll pass the necessary inspections, they'll communicate clearly. Whenever you decide to be cheap is whenever you decide to lose, because you're losing long term. You may not think that you're losing now, but you're losing long term being cheap. So do what's necessary in order to win, because that's what we're here to do. So thank you for watching. That's part 1 of this volume 2 of the Level Up series. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be discussing understanding the market. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to win at all costs.